Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while, as usual. It's going to be a ridiculous schedule kind of from here on out because we were really hoping for one video a week, but life and
finds a
jobs
way.
and friends and family and all that good stuff, which is a good sign because that means you're actually being busy throughout the summer, right?
Yeah.
You're out there, you're active, you're doing things, you're getting it all done. So glad to have you again for another episode. We love these top 10 lists, and we come to present to you yet another of our top 10 favorite and/or summertime movies.
Yes.
Summer movies, summertime.
Summertimeness.
Come to me on a summer breeze, and
Yeah.
we present to you this list of great top 10 classics that we have enjoyed throughout the years, and hopefully enjoy them as well. As always, we like to give you a good idea as to some movies out there you may not have thought about. Obviously, with the way things are right now, movies not coming out, it's hopefully going to give you some food for thought for movies you can go back and enjoy and appreciate, because
Yes.
there's a lot of movies out there that have already been made that I haven't seen yet, and maybe some of these are ones for you that, hey, you wouldn't have known about it otherwise. So for that, you're welcome.
Yeah, one common thread here is very much a family-oriented thing. I feel like as a kid, we enjoyed the summers a lot more than as an adult. As an adult, you just it's another day, a hotter day probably than before, but
Yeah.
it's still just another day.
As a kid, it was always a matter of, well, you've been stuck in school for how long? It's the 3 months that you get a reprieve. It's
Yeah.
the best weather of the year, so you're looking forward to it. But it is interesting how that suddenly takes on a different tone for you as an adult, because you're out of college, you're out of high school, you're out of whatever you might be in, and all of a sudden it's not really a matter of your schedule anymore. It's just a matter of, oh yeah, those really hot months that make me sweat profusely. So it can go back and forth for a lot of people, but I think overall it still maintains that nostalgia for us because we remember how much we look forward to those months coming.
You're never going to forget what you were like in the summer, especially I had a good summer as a child. I
Yes.
had summer school on purpose because I enjoyed art and I needed more art time, but I also enjoyed my summer activities, so...
Might as well enjoy our summertime too while being nostalgic over some root beer floats, because nothing gets nostalgia going like that, or at least that summertime feeling. Although we may be more than halfway through our summer now, it's kind of besides the point. So when it comes right down to it, we'll enjoy root beer floats, and hopefully you guys enjoy the commentary. So let's go ahead and roll right in here, moving along, as we say. Come to number 10, which is Ernest Goes to Camp.
Which we just watched.
Yeah, had to have a little refresher course on this one because it's been a little while. I had seen it as a kid, and I think it was actually my older brother's favorite movie for a long time. So I can recall seeing it twice, maybe up until this
Explains a
point.
lot.
So it was definitely nice to kind of brush up on it a little bit and see some different things there that I hadn't remembered, especially a couple of things that we even quoted, and I didn't realize it was the movie we were quoting. So it just goes to show you that a lot of these have great quotable moments, but. Good old Ernest P. Worrell has plenty for us, because no matter what stinky, nasty smell happens to come across my nose, at some point I always think, ew.
Yeah.
So that'll be there forever. But
gotta like the running gags in these kind of movies, and
something I think is missing in film these days when it comes to slapstick, especially.
yeah, and it definitely still had a moral to its story. It's a little silly now to watch, but since it was a classic and I enjoyed it growing up, I'm gonna enjoy it. It seems like forever, regardless of Ernest's stupidity.
Yeah, things that are a little bit campy, if you will. But I definitely overlooked a lot of that because it was something that I could be nostalgic over, knowing that, there was definitely a different type of humor back then, different type of comedy, different type of slapstick. But this one still captured a couple of good moments that I could still have a good couple of chuckles at and not feel like it was too lowbrow or too young kid for me at this point in my life. It was just really good to be able to go back to it and kind of be nostalgic about it, even though most of my camping experiences as a kid was limited to only week-long camps. I never really went somewhere for a full month or 2 months or whatever, like a full summer camp, which is, I think, kind of indicative of the fact that my parents actually liked us kids and didn't want to see us leave for 3 months, just saying.
That's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. Sometimes you need a little bit of a reprieve from there, but I got to go ahead and throw a special mention out there for Ernest himself. It is unfortunate that he's no longer with us.
Yes.
Rest in peace. But it's nice to know that his movies will, Jim Varney's movies will definitely live on with us forever, and especially live on as the Slinky Dog in Toy Story. So
yeah, and then one thing that a lot of movies are missing: random montages. There's at least 2 musical montages in that film.
Yep.
Very enjoyable.
Missed the music that was specifically made for musical montages.
Oh yeah.
I think some music was specifically made for the end credits. I think they really like to use that in a lot of these 80s, early 90s movies that kind of made things feel a little bit more epic, or a little bit more like you're happy that the movie's ending, as opposed to movies now, I kind of feel like it's more of a, oh, the story ended and I didn't want it to, or it was, music that seems a little bit more depressing or kind of ends it up in a weird tone. Summertime movies especially, comedy movies have a tone to them all of their own that keeps things nice and positive and on an upbeat note. So
yeah, none of these are like really summer blockbusters necessarily.
mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 of them are, but
maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, Ernest, good times, very silly.
Mm-hmm. Lots of slapstick and shtick. There was definitely no other really memorable actors in this movie aside from Mr. Varney, so it was definitely something that you can kind of appreciate his particular brand on it. And interesting too, because I think there's a couple of kids in there that might have shown up in later movies, but without any rolling credits right now or IMDb to help us out for the moment, I couldn't point to exactly any of them. But there was one we thought could possibly have been in a few episodes of Supernatural and a few other movies. Band of Brothers since then. So it's got a pretty distinct chin and nose that I think probably hung on with him, that made him a very distinct person.
He looked about the same. So, but anyway, the next movie, number 9 on our list, I introduced to you, but my family have been watching it for a long time.
Not one of my childhood movies, but after seeing it recently, it's like, oh, that would have been for sure.
Yeah, really a good summer flick. It has the word summer in it, you know, and it's along the same vine of John Candy family classics.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Summer Rental. I'd say Joey Lawrence as a child, great actor, well done.
Even had the gal from Goonies in there.
Yeah,
she was a cheerleader.
Right.
Obviously very young in this one too, so it's kind of funny to see her in she couldn't have been more than maybe 14 at this point.
Maybe.
I'm not sure, but
who knows?
It's one of those situations where, unfortunately, with Hollywood, things kind of blur the lines with appropriate situations because, of course, there's always got to be some kind of a summer fling or a romance in between some of the younger individuals, and I would almost venture to guess that the guy that she was going after in this movie probably had a pretty big age disparity there. But
it's hard to tell. In the 80s, everybody looks old.
To a certain extent, yeah. Teased hair didn't do a whole lot for women's attractiveness, as far as I'm concerned. It was definitely those crispy bangs that definitely are a little bit off-putting in some regards.
They had 2 montages, but the montages in this movie were them getting the boat back in shape. The Barnacle, which was a restaurant. With Rip Torn, great.
Climb aboard,
singing some Love Boat. That was good times. But yeah, they had Jimmy Buffett as their main music, and and
everybody dressed appropriately for it because they all look like they're in Hawaiian shirts and probably looking like they were getting lit and going to the beach.
I think they were in Florida or something in this movie. I don't know. Either way, that was
definitely a good family flick. It's nice to see a dad kind of bring his family together at the end there when they're all trying to run off and do their own thing for their vacation time. So it's nice to see.
He had a bad sunburn and hurt his foot really bad.
And it's just good to see that even in movies they can portray kind of what it was like for probably a lot of dads and moms out there trying to get their family together for vacation and realizing that they have to chase their kids around all the time trying to get them to enjoy some family fun time when all they want to do is run off and do their own thing and explore on their own and run into summer flings that are probably age inappropriate. All the typical situations you run into.
This isn't the great outdoors.
No, it isn't.
But it's very similar.
But it's very close. Thank you, John Candy.
Yeah.
I don't think we had Aykroyd in this one at all. No cameos or anything like that. But hey, Rip Torn was good enough. Definitely filled the role quite well.
But are these your lobsters?
Yeah.
Is this your wife?
What do you think of these?
Yeah. There's a lot of fun stuff going on in that film.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoyed, as a kid growing up, watching it because it felt like I'm a big fan of family flicks, and I wish we'd get back to these kind of real, family flicks. Yes, there were, a woman walking around trying to ask about her breast implants, but I just grew up.
Gotta have good comedy in there. In between, you have plenty of PG-13 on up to Bridging the Gap on rated R, and maybe even this one did reach that gap. I'm not sure, but there was no nudity in it at least, so it was nice to see that it kind of helped keep that within the family movie realm.
Unlike number 6 and number 3 on our list.
Yeah, but I digress on those. We'll get to the fun parts of them, which is probably good to kind of move us into number 8 here, which is another.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nice and epic summertime movie.
Which was a summer flick, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a summer flick not only by the time it was released, but how it was set the entire time was not only in a Caribbean or, tropical climate the entire time, but of course we're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Or as a great song would say, we're the pirates, what, of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
So,
this is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow, the greatest pirate on the 7 seas.
Keira Knightley, Johnny Depp, Giant Squid, definitely plenty of great epic things that happen in this movie. Not in this particular movie, but
we're not going to cut out the whole sequel situation. This is the first one we're talking about.
Yes, the first one that kind of set things off, set the tone, was really great, epic adventure. Didn't necessarily think that it needed sequels, let alone however many we have at this point, with all the controversy surrounding that now too. It just kind of goes to show you that it should have just been left to that one. But it's kind of hard when you have certain blatant cash grabs going on. I think that as a corporate person, as a person who saw that kind of money sitting there just waiting to be received, I think I would have probably gone that direction too.
Oh,
so
snap.
not saying that I'm like blaming it completely on that, but unfortunately I think the story lost a little bit with all those sequels, but that's neither here nor there because it's all opinion based and subjective rather than objective.
It was really all about Keira Knightley for me the first time I watched it. And then she started talking.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Seems like her teeth got in the way.
There's plenty of women out there that are just great to look at, but
if you like pain, try wearing a corset.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Little puppet.
All
I know is when it comes to certain situations that I really want to find myself getting out of, I wish I could parlay and just be able to run from the issue there and go talk to a higher up. That's kind of like a Karen move of the pirate world, let me speak to the manager, parlay, let me talk to your captain before you kill me.
Yeah.
So
now Jack Sparrow getting an Oscar nod, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Never quite gotten it, but at least got a nod for the performance.
It was just funny to me, just like the whole Tropic Thunder nod. Anyway.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr., special mention for you.
I don't think I have to say much about Pirates of the Caribbean. A lot of you probably seen this movie, so...
If you're looking for fun times, some good family-friendly comedy, lots of epic adventure, it's
action.
Definitely the movie for you.
Silly characters, crazy characters. Anyway.
Silly, crazy.
Anyway.
On top of all of that.
My favorite number, just in general, is number 7, but that's not my favorite movie, but it was one of my favorite childhood flicks, and I think it's one of yours too. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Now, Rick Moranis...
Amy, can you hear me? Nick.
Not Rick.
Yeah, from Nick. $80, May, non-refundable. Those kids are grounded.
I always thought about, man, I should put my cigarettes in my hat after that as a kid, and just, you know what?
It's something that has made oatmeal cream pies have a special place in my heart. I've always wanted to climb up on a giant one. I thought there was a life-size one at Disney maybe at one point. I don't know if that was
there was a Honey, I Shrunk the
but...
Kids area, but it was so small, like one giant Lego. One, ant you can stand on. A couple blades of grass you can slide
It's like
down.
a cameo in a movie, just a quick mention as opposed to a whole attraction.
Man, that would have been really cool.
Yeah, but definitely has placed a special spot in my heart for those. And I think it was interesting in the movie how they ran upon one sitting out in the yard randomly. It's like, man, these were messy kids for being a nerdy scientist type and someone who was not really interested in all that except for boys at the time. So who knows? But hey, it was definitely a good plot point, I guess. A good way to introduce yourself to the ant that ended up being their companion throughout the rest of the movie.
Shed a tear for the ant.
Shed a tear for the ant. Yes.
Some great.
Never felt bad about it. I'm sitting there squishing them underneath my feet on a regular basis, but yet seeing one life size,
crawling all over your freaking kitchen.
Yeah, who's crawling. Yeah. They're infesting things right now and crawling over my oven. It's a little disheartening. So thank goodness for Raid. But all that to say, definitely a great kid flick in a lot of ways. Rick Moranis was somebody that I thought was probably kind of obscure for the role, but played it really well. Yeah. Threw a little bit of science in there, along with a family adventure situation. All a cool storyline that kind of brought it all back to family.
Break a window with some baseball. Who hasn't done that?
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Accidentally activated a shrink ray that shrunk our kids down to nothing.
Always
happens. It's just one of those things you got to watch out for in the summertime. So,
yeah.
As fun as this can be, fair warning to you guys. Watch out for addicts and baseballs.
Love the traditional effects.
Yep.
Just
practical effects are a lost art these days, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it would have been a really weird movie if it was all CGI. And I mean, there's a sequel or two I didn't care for.
And since we've talked about it now, get ready for a remake full of CGI.
Oh, no!
I shouldn't have said it, but, watch out. It's probably going to happen now.
There won't be a Roger Rabbit pre-movie, short, I don't think, this time around.
Actually, they kind of did that before Pixar did that. That's interesting. Yeah. Kind of like a short flick before the movie actually started. Yeah. So that's a special mention right there, something that probably started it and nobody realizes where it came from.
Made you want to, continue to watch the movie. For my parents, it just made them go, why do my kids like this stuff? It's probably why they're crazy. It's because they, but...
Did we have anything to do with that? Oh, I hope not. Yeah.
I don't know, but... Yeah.
So bringing us up to number 6 already. Trying to jump ahead here.
Man, just wants to get it over with.
6 is a number that I want to avoid.
Of the beast. Hell and fire.
Yeah. This movie showcases one of my favorite actors, Kurt Russell. I think it's definitely interesting when you see certain actors that should go back to comedy. I think good old Kurt Russell's kind of venturing it out there, overboard and something like that. Two guys that are good actors, but I would just love to see them go back to a full-blown slapstick or family summertime comedy such as this. But of course, we are talking about good old Captain Ron. Don't worry about it, squab. My eyes are all dirty. Just I'll go put that up and put it right back in there. No big deal.
Yeah. Right.
You know, never really know exactly how he lost the eye. I think there was a couple different stories throughout that as to how it actually happened. But one of those things that kind of leave you wondering throughout the whole movie is kind of another shtick thing. You know, something that's kind of a recurring theme throughout that we don't see in a lot of movies.
Let's
these
not
days.
forget, Martin Short.
Yes.
You know, you said gorillas, not gorillas.
Mm-hmm. Another movie that actually showcases really well how there's a funny guy and a straight guy, kind of like What About Bob? You know, you kind of overlook Richard Dreyfuss a lot in that movie, but once you take a second to go back and watch it again, you realize the comedy genius that's coming out of that man on a regular basis. It's a great support character to Bill Murray. So in this regard, Martin Short to support Kurt Russell's comedy was a good balance, and I thought very well done.
Which is funny because usually Martin Short's a very comedically crazy person.
Over the top, over dramatic kind of guy, and he was a straight dad. Yes,
but he did a fine job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then there's just a family that I think most of these families are from Chicago.
Yeah,
go figure.
I think that's interesting that Chicago.
They might have been from New York actually in this one.
This one, New York. One of the big cities. You got Big Apple, you got Chicago. Otherwise, it's kind of one of those that tends to have the family from it because I think that's where you get the stereotype of a clueless city family that's never been to situations like this before. So the comedy ensues because it's a culture shock for them. It's out of their normal element. You know, they're not used to. They're used to the big lights, big city. You know, lots of traffic, lots of chaos. So
he used to sail, and he wanted to. Because he had, this is what happens when you have a teenager in the house. You feel like you got to reestablish like a relationship with them.
What are the great things that I had as a kid? What do I want to have my son experience like I had?
Yeah, you're losing your kids. You might as well go on a crazy adventure with them, and then there's a moral to the story. There's a moral to every story that is silly and funny. And
another thing lost on movies these days. I'm left wondering a lot of times when I watch something from Netflix, what was the point of all of that?
To get another one.
Oh! I guess, a lot of them all just ending in, leaving you wide open for a sequel, I guess. That's all that really matters now.
Yeah.
No complete story, just hopefully keep it going and going.
Yeah, money. That's a smash and grab, really, at this point. But Captain Ron is totally awesome. Kurt Russell, very funny. Great, really silly stuff going on in this movie, but yet very family-oriented.
There would be a special mention for the mom in that movie, but unfortunately I can't think of the actress's name off the top of my head, but she had a few funny moments too.
Oh, yeah.
The kids weren't terrible. Sometimes they can be the annoying portion of it.
No, they weren't.
We don't get the benefit of having good, funny kids that have their own lines, their own character and all that, like we're moving into here eventually with another movie, but National Lampoon's did a good job with making sure that good old Russ and Audrey had plenty of parts and lines. And
usually only two kids, boy and a girl, a lot of times. Boy and a girl.
The good old nuclear family, which is trying to be destroyed these days. So it's nice to see go back to a little bit of nostalgia for that, for back when things just kind of made sense.
Yeah.
So
we don't want to talk too much about how amazing this movie is because I really just want you to see it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it might be a little bit of an obscure one that people don't know much about. I would say it's definitely a cult classic, but if you're looking for a good laugh, especially with two good comedy duo of Martin Short and Kurt Russell, Captain Ron's the one for you, Squab.
Yeah.
So, number 5.
Yeah, number 5, the Tony Perkis system. It works. All right? It totally works.
It makes you eat success for breakfast.
With skim milk. Ugh. Oh, geez. So we're talking about heavyweights here.
Yep, the heaviest of weights.
Yeah, so it's a fat camp. Let's just tell it like it is. It's a fat camp, but it's a great movie with a lot of...
plenty of stereotypes in there for those who might be sensitive to their, body shaming mentalities or whatever. But as always, it's always meant in good spirits. It's always come back around into a positive story in some way. The main character always learns something.
Hey,
in this particular situation, it had nothing to do with nutrition or getting to a healthier lifestyle. It was more about how to fight against it, but in a hilarious way.
Love yourself.
Yeah, love yourself.
Love yourself. And, friends.
Yeah, love yourself. Love a healthy lifestyle no matter how you look.
You can win as long as you have a souped-up go-kart.
And plenty of friends to back you up and camp counselors that are all on board with all this craziness. But yeah, it is...
What about Nurse Julie?
What about Nurse Julie?
Nurse Julie.
Yeah, Nurse Julie.
I got the...
creak in my back. Gonna give you a deep tissue massage later? Yeah. I'll pencil you in. Shouldn't you be watching the kids? Oh, I've got them on the buddy system.
Body system?
Buddy system?
No.
Body system? Buddy! Buddy! All right, yeah, good stuff. So, yeah, definitely I would say one of Ben Stiller's best works.
Oh, my!
Yeah.
You come on, you devil dog.
We're not here to teach him about sports.
Teach him about life! I mean, it's Ben Stiller's best work.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Love to see another character like his come up again.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, yeah, to an extent.
Literally the same character.
Literally the same character.
That's why it's not as great, because it's the same character.
Yeah, I guess so. If it comes right down to it, I think he's found himself a niche I think that he kind of realizes
the monkey.
I think he realizes that he should need to be. He at least understands that if he's going to be the lead guy, he's going to be the butt of most of the jokes.
Oh, yeah.
I think that he realizes that he is definitely not like your stereotypical chiseled-featured, good-looking guy or whatever, but he's definitely got comedy on his side, and he does pull it off pretty well. So I can always appreciate him for that.
It's not like that Highway to Hell movie.
Not exactly like that Highway to Hell movie. No. He definitely had an interesting little cameo part in that. But hey, certain areas of Arizona, you could probably cook meat on the hot concrete floor, so you never know. And is there some legitimacy there? I don't know, but it's definitely nice to see other slightly less known characters. And it's funny, I can never think of the name of the actor, but he always reminds me of Dr. Phil. I don't know why. The main kid's dad in the movie.
Yeah, that guy.
I'm sure he's got a name. I'm sorry
he's got
not
a name.
mentioning that. I mean, I know you're watching this and everything. You're gonna send me hate mail for it.
I think he was in Arrested Development, was he not?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, some other stuff too. Bald guy.
Arrested Development. Yeah, I think so. Because
he was
sporting the mustache back then. Yeah, exactly. We don't have to do all this work for you. Cite your own sources.
Comments.
So, yeah, comments below. Let us know. Fill us in on all these moments that we need to do.
You don't have to know everything. We're just here for our opinion.
Yeah.
This is the internet.
Yeah. All I gotta say is, no, I think you're through here.
Yeah.
So
I think you're through here.
It's a fat camp. Yeah, and
May I?
Too strong.
I'm too motivated. You're too weak. Gone to jail, age 11. Anyway, too much Tony Perkis is not a bad thing.
Too quotable. Too good in so many ways.
I mean, I can do a sit-up blindfolded without hearing.
Without hearing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Congratulations, you just became part of 86% of Americans who don't properly stretch before exercise.
Anyway, he's a loser. A loser with a skinny wiener.
Yeah. I've got candy. So, moving on.
Chocolicious.
I think this kind of works out perfectly well for us. It's a good segue into number 4 because over that movie and because of that movie, we find ourselves a little dazed and confused. A little bit of low riding, maybe.
So you kind of at some point in your adolescence, kind of grow a little bit, but yet comedies are still kind of, there. Your summer's still kind of like, oh yeah, school's out. So school's out. Oh, summer.
Yeah.
And it becomes, let's make fun of Ben Affleck for being
your
held back.
All over the beard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of figured that was going to happen. See, now you guys know what it's like to live with this on a regular basis.
Yeah, see, it's
Here's
messy.
the true pain.
Messy mess.
Somebody goes through. This is why I always kind of avoid ice cream in public situations because you never know when you're going to be wearing it.
Ooh. And he's totally in public right now.
Yeah. As you can tell, I'm wearing my face mask.
Oh. We should totally do a video just on, not on face masks, but, about cool masks in movies. And wear masks.
Wearing masks? Why not?
You can't understand a word we're saying.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Anyway, Ben Affleck's best work until Batman, really, I'd say.
Special mention for his comic genius, for his being able to play the stereotypical meathead.
Yeah.
The guy in high school that you probably hated, and he was more popular than he rightfully should have been. Had more girlfriends than he rightfully should have.
And one of Matthew McConaughey's best work.
Hey.
Hands down.
Yeah.
The thing is about high school girls, he gets older. They stay the same age.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you have any weed?
Yeah.
No? We'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it
a
is what it is based on the title.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a coming-of-age movie for sure in a lot of ways. It really kind of spoke to the hassle of having to grow up in life and become part of high school and be the initiate, and just grab your nose weird about everything because you got long hair and you're, just a bad actor. But it was nice to see just, a wealth of people in this movie of special mentions for a lot of cameos and a lot of all that. Mila Jovovich was one that I thought was kind of funny. Like, I didn't even recognize her at first because it's like, in my mind, she's always been young. So to see her in a movie that old kind of made me go, wait, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of actors you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that person from that and that person from that and that. It's kind of fun. It's the throwback, too, because I remember the first time I watched this, I thought, because I didn't know who these actors were at the time, because I watched it really, around the time it came out, I thought it was an actual movie from the 70s.
Right.
So they did a fine enough job to confuse the crap out of my adolescence.
Period movie, for sure.
And then all of a sudden, you realize, oh, okay, these people are actually actors now, and I've seen this person and that and the other, so obviously it's...
Yeah, if this had been actually in the 70s, they'd all be in their 50s now or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But they did a fine enough job with that. Great music, good soundtrack. Apparently high school kids just like to get stoned and drink in the woods
I mean, who doesn't?
But
the we certainly didn't in high school.
But
didn't do a whole lot of experimenting until afterwards, which was kind of funny. So
hanging out
yeah.
down the street, the same old thing.
Yeah, I definitely had a little bit of that '70s show tone to it. I can
think
see
that
where
after,
that '70s show came and took a lot of cues from that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
good, well-rounded movie for if you ever had that same experience in high school, there was at least one or two characters you could totally relate to in there, and that is just a good show of good screenwriter too, because they write something that's relevant as opposed to scenarios that you go, but nobody ever comes in these scenarios ever, and that's a good portion of what we have in movies these days. It's just a lot of really far-fetched, over-dramatized ideas. It's like, okay, it can be funny to an extent, but it's usually overblown and just ridiculous.
In reality for a change. What's
other than Batman.
Yeah. Oh, other than Batman. He's a comic book character. There's no reality.
Crying out loud, you may be a human in a world of superheroes, but for the love of God, he's more super than your average human being. Yeah. And let's just get over that fact, because yes, there's a lot of suspension of disbelief in those comics that you get over with, because it's not the real world.
He's just not Welsh.
Yeah. Comedies like this deserve to be grounded in the real world because it actually makes it more funny, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's Texas, apparently. Yeah. I'm not from Texas, so I guess that's not what I did.
I was just born there. I don't really know much about it.
Yeah.
So
number 3, we're in our top 3 meow.
Mm-hmm.
Meow?
Yeah.
Did I say that meow?
Yeah, right, meow.
So, and that has absolutely nothing to do with it. But we're talking about like National Lampoon's Vacation.
In general, National Lampoons are fantastic, and we could have a whole video almost on that alone. But let's just go back to where it all started here. Good old Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo. We are talking about National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah, it's a good time, Russ.
We're going to hop in the family truckster. We're going to drive far too many miles for one family to be stuck in a vehicle together, and we're going to go have some fun. Hell or high water.
World.
Yeah. Until we kind of find out that, there's no such thing as phones back then. Obviously, there's no internet, but, you couldn't have taken the time to actually call and find out what their schedule was until you ultimately find out that the park's closed down.
Yeah, that's the worst thing ever. But there's so much fun and hilarity. He shouldn't be driving. He should be behind bars.
Shouldn't have a license to drive an automobile.
Yeah.
Dog killer.
Yeah. Sit down and shut up. Move from that seat and I'll split your lip. Beverly D'Angelo's best work.
Mm-hmm.
By far. Not because she, showed us a little bit more of her than maybe a child needs to see, but
I've seen plenty of Beverly D'Angelos throughout those movies, yes.
Pretty great movie regardless.
Yeah, we're definitely moving up the rated scale here. We are in a full-blown R.
Yeah.
Not only just the potty mouth humor and all that, but there's plenty of situations and circumstances that are just not appropriate for children.
You could use a cold one, huh?
Yeah. Sure can.
There you go.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. Anyway.
I remember you talked about how much you liked mine, so I had to get you a set.
Yeah, right?
Eddie, you really shouldn't have.
You really
should. Yeah. Real tomato ketchup, Eddie.
Oh, nothing but the best.
Yeah. So it's another really good quotable movie. It's got lots of hilarious scenes, and again, I think Chevy Chase's best work, Beverly D'Angelo's best work. It's unfortunate to see that they aren't the same people that they used to be. I don't know what happened, but I guess in some ways it's a situation where it goes to show you that comedy is a muscle that you need to exercise on a regular basis, and when you don't, it withers and dies. So, you can see Chevy Chase definitely had some good stuff in Community, but other than that, I don't know what happened to him. He was a comedic genius in my mind. He had a lot of great delivery. He had the timing. He had the sarcasm down. He was definitely a bit of he played the bumbling idiot a little bit too much, but I think, I'm not your ordinary, everyday a-hole here, so.
Well, I say, next time I get a car, I'm going to get an Antarctic Blue Super Sports Wagon with the Rally Fun Pack for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to do that.
Yeah. You could go with that if you wanted to. I'd rather give you a fine automobile like this, but that's good. I want to make sure that you're happy.
He thinks I want the family truckster. I don't believe it. I'm not going to go across the country in that.
Nope.
Sorry. I need the...
All I know is I paid $400 for 4 bald tires and a tow, so, it just goes to show you what the world was like back then, because this was a late 80s movie, but it definitely spawned quite a few worthwhile sequels, because I think in comedy you can get away with that. We definitely didn't notice or care too much that Russ and Audrey's actors changed quite a bit, especially their age and age difference. That was a little bit goofy when it came to Christmas Vacation.
There was a period of time where they did commercials based on this for an Old Navy during the Christmas time.
That's right.
Really funny.
Yeah.
They brought back European Vacation and regular Russ, and had like 50 Russes and 50 Audreys. It was a pretty good time.
Yep.
I enjoyed that, but other than that...
Good nostalgia for that time period. Lots of cameo.
Oh, yeah. Camel.
Cameo.
You must have launched that thing, 50 feet?
Yeah. Nothing to be proud of, Russ. 50 feet.
Anyway.
Which can bring us comfortably into.
Well,
our
hold on a
number.
second. You know, when my dad and I were at this age, he shared a beer with me, and I just think I should share a beer with you. You know,
Oh, all right.
because you know we're gonna have fun on this vacation. We're gonna have a good time together, and I'm gonna break my glasses because I just jumped off a ramp. And anyway, Russ, we're gonna have fun, right?
What's that, Dad?
We're gonna have fun. Anyway, too many quotable lines.
Mhm.
I guess maybe there's no
Too
such
many
thing.
potables.
No such thing as too many.
There's too many. Yes, which this movie will be giving us, one-liners till the end of time, and I hope you enjoy them too.
And the next one's just right there with it usually because you're killing me, Smalls.
You are killing me, Small.
Talking.
I mean, you got a fireplace, man. Go ahead and throw that hat in there. But yeah, coming of age movie.
Do you want a s'more?
S'more what?
You're killing me, Smalls.
I can have some more something. I haven't had something already. Yeah.
Idiot.
Forever. Yeah, so Squints Palladorus and the gang. It's
Yeah.
funny too because Smalls has been in numerous other movies, and it's
Yeah.
amazing to see that the guy has stopped aging. From that movie on, he
Same exact guy.
just about turned into an adult and hasn't really gone anywhere since then. So it just goes to
Same
show you some guys just don't age the same way. But of course, we're talking about Sandlot here. So
Hercules.
this is definitely the movie that I, as a kid, loved because I've always been a baseball fan. I'm definitely an Erector Set fan, so knowing that what they used to have back then, so many toys back then that were more life-size, that were more realistic, that, were probably super dangerous in a lot of ways, but I was always a responsible kid, so I would have liked to have enjoyed them,
Hercules
as opposed
destroyed
to it, just destroyed that,
Yeah.
Hercules, why don't you come over and knock? I'd have gotten it for you. But good old James Earl Jones, nice to have him pop up at the end there, nice cameo. Dennis Leary of all things to be the dad. It's kind of funny to see him in a straight role too, and not sitting there dropping f-bombs left and right.
Some girl had her name written on it. It was like some lady named Baby Ruth.
Yeah, Ruth, Baby Ruth.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Colossus of Clout.
Yeah.
The Great Bambino.
Oh man.
You play ball like a girl.
5 o'clock
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Just goes to show you that baseball was an important pastime back then, as opposed to the happy fun ball that it is now with this new version that we have that's ridiculous and just overbloated and just completely unnecessary.
Cubs won the World Series. I could die a half man.
I guess, yeah. I mean, we've already got one, so nice to see him win another one. But this is almost like the handicap league in a lot of ways. If you win it this time, it doesn't really feel as legitimate to me. But at this point, I would have rather gone without a baseball season altogether, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about a great baseball movie, a great childhood movie, a great summertime.
You know what this movie taught me? Don't you dip and go on a tilt-a-whirl type ride at the park.
Especially Big Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they make it anymore, but watch out for it.
Yeah, do not do that.
Don't do that. But I'll tell you one thing. Back then it was okay. Nowadays it'll probably get you many more years in jail than you really deserve. But don't pull any moves on the lifeguard. Wendy Peppercorn is not about that these days. We're a little bit more open-minded in the world of the hashtag Me Too movement and all that. So just
so no fake drowning, people.
No fake drowning. Yeah, I mean I just stole a kiss and all that. But these days it'll probably get you much worse than what it really is. What would really be necessary.
Can't imagine them actually marrying you later.
Yeah, no. Movies do like to do an interesting portrayal of situations where the guy sometimes just acts downright creepy, and for some reason the woman finds it enduring, and they end up together at the end of the movie.
Passengers.
Don't always believe movies, people. It's just so ridiculous and out there and overbloated and just not right in a lot of ways. Again, suspension of disbelief. This is an isolated story in a world that's not ours most of the time.
We're not living in a Hallmark story, I'm sorry.
Nope. And when it comes right down to it, I think that this dog would have not destroyed everything that it actually did. I don't think it would have been nearly the hassle that they were going through because, of course, as you could see in areas of the movie, he was a huge, big, ridiculous, puppeteered monster. Yeah. And then by the end of the movie, he's just a real big Mastiff, I think is the type of dog it was.
Yeah, but I didn't need to see that many slow-motion close-ups of a dog's balls, though.
That's true. It was a little excessive. Did you not find it a trifle unnecessary to see the ball sack between the dog's legs? Yeah.
Definitely, but I had the same dream.
I had the same dream. Plenty of dreams that'll let you know that don't worry, it's okay. He's maybe a big ridiculous monster, but he's chained up under the house.
Yeah.
So he'll be there forever until you knock a baseball sign by Babe Ruth in the backyard, and then spend the rest of your summer trying to get it because suddenly it's not about baseball anymore. It's about saving a priceless piece of Americana.
I don't know. Here's a real question that comes to mind. So Dennis Leary lost a Babe Ruth signed baseball, but gained a good relationship with his son.
True.
Stepson.
Yeah.
And the 27 Yankees
signed
baseball.
Dad, sorry.
27 Yankees signed baseball.
In my opinion, thanks, son.
Yeah. I think you got an upgrade.
Lost one, got so much more.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Anyway.
fantastic movie. Lots of great actors in it that you'll probably see around still to these days. A few of them that are probably doing producing now as opposed to being an actor. But interesting to see how the cast has come along in the decades since then. So another great movie for the kids.
Yeah.
I think there was a sequel to it, but don't just ignore that. Just don't even think about that. That never happened.
And we had those fireworks scenes, one of my favorites, where they go, no, they're going to play a night game because we got fireworks and stuff, and they play the best, 4th of July song ever, with Ray Charles. And
Thank you, good old Ray Charles, yep.
Yeah.
Not Jamie Foxx, Ray Charles.
It's really well done, too. It's not, it's not stupid. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm nostalgic. Maybe that's all it is, nostalgia. Maybe.
There's nostalgia, but, it just goes to show you they don't make movies like they used to.
No.
And in a lot of ways, we're suffering for it. So today's generation, I'm sorry, you don't have the wealth and plethora that we did as it came out, but you can still go back to them. They're still out there. It's still the history of movies that you need to go and enjoy because if you base your opinion on movies and screenwriting off of what you see today, you won't have a very good viewpoint about things or you'll be very deluded in a lot of ways. So I'm sorry that you have to endure that. We're trying to give you the tools and the means necessary and the inspiration to go find good movies. So that leads us, of course, into our number one, our favorite pick for summertime movies, as being displayed here for all of those who get the joke, who get the inside scoop there. And, of course, as a callback to sequels that should never have happened, this one had way too many, even though there's some funny aspects to all of them.
Bruce had a hard enough time as is.
Yep.
He didn't need brothers.
To those, I say farewell and adieu to you, dear ladies.
Spanish ladies.
Spanish ladies, the ladies of Spain.
Yes.
I would say we need a bigger boat.
Yep.
We're talking about Jaws here.
Yeah, Jaws.
Yeah. We are talking about the summer movie classic. We are talking about the first terrifying movie that made you not want to go in the water. We had enough irrational fears about large bodies of water, especially oceans and lakes where you couldn't see the bottom.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of interesting that some people have a problem with large bodies of water in, say, an aquarium.
Yeah.
I happen to know a few people that have a particular issue with those. And then there's the other side of people that have a problem with not being able to see the bottom, not knowing how deep it is, not knowing what's down there. You can throw us firmly in that category because
Jaws probably
for all intents and purposes, you won't find me swimming out in a big open body of ocean without just being off a boat for a second. I did go snorkeling one time, freaked me out until I kind of eased into it, but it was also a booze cruise, so now you can see why I was actually able to get under the water a little bit. And this was also in the Bahamas where it was clear water, straight 30 feet down. We could see dolphins off in the distance and nothing but sandbars and coral reefs. So perfect, pristine situation. Aquariums, things like that, big bodies of water, got no problem. I could swim to the bottom of any deep pool because I could see it. I know it's down there. There's nothing weird or creepy, no irrational fear about that.
Yeah,
but,
nothing's going to be released into that pool. But
this movie definitely played on those fears, and it's something that from then until now I will forever be terrified of great whites.
Yes, thank you, Jaws, for all that you've done. Mostly giving us Quint. I appreciate you so much. But yeah, as a kid, I watched this movie, and I did not want to go to the bathroom because I thought that would, for some reason, the shark would come out of the
Irrational
toilet.
fears, they say.
Weird. I was really young when I watched this movie, probably.
We especially thank Quinn for a great little ditty that will just get stuck in your head forever because, in regards to all that, I would like you to show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago and it's gone right to my head.
Wherever I may roam, land or sea or flown.
Yeah, so thank you for Quinn. Thank you for great movie moments, lots of terrifying moments. Not exactly the kind of movie that you would, watch for hot chicks, because I think thrillers these days tend to kind of throw a little bit too much of that superficiality.
Are you showing enough belly?
So.
We need more belly.
Yeah. Are you going to take a shower at some point before you get slashed to death? No? Okay, we got to throw that in there.
Granted, there was a nude swim death at the beginning, but you don't see anything.
Yeah.
And it's just really enjoyable.
Tastefully done.
Yeah.
It just kind of built the terror and the tension.
Built the tension,
more,
yeah.
So.
And then you see my arm at the end.
Why?
Because she was just eaten and thrown up, I guess. I don't know, whatever's left of her. But it's a pretty gruesome movie without actually showing a whole lot. too.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of scenes were like, oh, there's a limb. Oh,
Just goes to show you how practical effects and good storytelling and screenwriting can really go a long way for a movie. Directing especially.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Lots of things we can mention and throw out there, but all that to say, that is our top 10 favorites for summertime movies.
Summertime flicks.
Hopefully this gave you guys some good inspiration. Hopefully there's movies out there that you have not seen. These titles are great ones to go take a look at if you're looking for. Yeah, exactly. Seeing as how we're not getting movies right now, we're not getting anything new, and I think if you were right now, unfortunately, we've lost a lot of quality in the screenwriting that we've gotten so far in the last decade to 15 years. So I think it's good to see that you can go back and see a big archive of worthwhile movies to watch. Some comedies, some thrillers or whatever, but all in the vein of a good, happy summertime flick.
A lot of them have family values.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever happened to family values, whatever happened to
good life lessons. You could learn something by watching a movie. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be a complete fake suspension of disbelief and over dramatized situations that have no bearing in reality whatsoever. It's good to see that there's plenty of good ones out there you can still go back to. So, with that said, we all appreciate you coming out here and taking the time to watch this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you can take some time to do your like, share, and subscribing. All the fun stuff that makes a YouTube situation work out really well for everybody involved and gives us inspiration to keep on doing this. If you'd like to see more of it, definitely take some time to throw some comments down there about what movies you liked, ones you haven't seen, one that you're going to see now because of thanks to our recommendation and our ridiculousness and how we explained it and described it to you. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks for coming on, Artisan. It's always a pleasure.
I only live across the hall. It's not a long walk.
Yeah, definitely to fit us into your busy schedule, so we appreciate that. But in the meantime, we might go have ourselves another root beer float and enjoy the hot sweatiness. But you guys go out there and have some fun. Get outside, get the stink blowed off you. Turn that media off and don't pay attention to it. It's the healthiest thing you can do.
Yep.
So with that, we'll see you next time.
Bye. Sexual.
Camera, overheat. Radio edit.
Radio edit. Bam! This waka waka.